this excuse that I hear a lot from people. And it's to a point, it's a valid excuse, but they overuse it. And I'm guilty of using it too. And it is, I'm getting too old to do this, or I don't got it anymore type thing. Like, listen, age is just a number. Like, it's not an excuse. And welcome to another episode of Reno's Rants here on the Roughnecks podcast. If you haven't heard, it's probably impossible for you not have heard to have heard this yet. We got a volleyball tournament coming to you in Newark at Newark Station, July 15th. If you have not signed up yet, you better hurry because slots are filling up quick. It's going to be a good time. Grab your team, come hang out, have a few drinks, hit some volleyballs, get a little competitive. All the above. It's going to be a good time, so make sure to sign up for that on roughneckspodcast.com. It'll be right there at the very front. You can't miss it. So on today's episode, I got to address sort of this excuse that I hear a lot from people. And it's to a point, it's a valid excuse, but they overuse it. And I'm guilty of using it too. And it is, I'm getting too old to do this, or I don't got it anymore type thing. Like, listen, age is just a number. Like, it's not an excuse, right? Now, I say that kind of on the borderline here because, like, as you get older, do some things slow down? Of course they do. The metabolism slows down a little bit. Recovery time slows down a little bit, but that doesn't mean that's your excuse to not still push yourself and not still, lift weights or go running or, do whatever. It's not an excuse. You really got to take care of yourself and you're going to be just fine. Like myself, am I going to go back and play Division I football? No, I'm not going to do that. My body won't allow me to do that type of stuff, one, because of injuries, two, because, I am having a little bit of joint stuff here and there, but I'm addressing it. And I still have the ability to jump and sprint and squat and go play with the kids. And that's really what I try to really focus in on, especially with some of my older clients, is, hey, like, you can still go out and play with your kids. We're going to get you to that point where you can go and run around with them, where you can go throw the baseball with them, where you can, do whatever, be active with your kids. And this is kind of a harsh reality, but do you really want your kids to see you in a sedentary life? I don't know. I think it's so important for kids to get active, especially at such a young age. And a lot of that falls on what the parents are doing. Are you allowing them to go and be active? And is your body type, your fitness level, stopping your kids from being able to do that? Don't let that happen. Okay? It's a long process. It's a consistent process. It's a patient game, but you can get back to that level. You can get back to that level. Maybe not 100%, maybe it's 90%, but you can still get there. And like I said, age cannot be your excuse. Another example is my own dad. I've been training him for 6+ years at this point. The dude is 62, going on 63 this year. He's got a six pack. He's out. He just did the Pelotonia. If you don't know what that is, he rode 100 miles on the street bike in a little, like cancer research race thing. And 100 miles, 62-year-old doing that. He's got a six pack. He's had two shoulders reconstructed. He has an artificial knee. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is like that or can do that, but you have to continue to take steps forward. You have to. And just the difference is your steps forward, you just kind of got to watch where you're stepping now a little bit is all it is. That does not mean that you have to, oh, I can't do that anymore because I'm too old, or I'll never be able to do that again. Like, there's some things you may not be able to do again, but there's a lot of things that you're going to be able to do. Like I said earlier, can I go out and play a football game right now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I tell you what, I can still go sprint with those guys. I can still go condition with those guys. I can still go lift with those guys. Okay? Like, you've got to stay consistent with it. You got to truly want to do it. You can't be using your age as your excuse. And it's a very, very easy excuse to use. It's very easy to do that. You just have to be on top of your nutrition. You have to be on top of your fitness level, because you got to think, when you were younger, when you're doing all that kind of stuff, when you were in your prime, sort of say, what were you doing? You're probably super active. You were probably working out a whole bunch. You're probably eating pretty well. And what happens when you get older? You start getting jobs, you start having kids. And so you're not working out as hard. You're not staying on top of your nutrition. So it starts to fall off. But you could go ahead and flip it. Get back to working out. Get back to eating right. And you'll be amazed what your bodies can do. You will be amazed how long, the longevity of your body. And just how good you're going to feel. You're just going to feel a lot better mentally, too. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. As you get older, you start having bills and all these stressors coming up. What a great way to release some of that stress than to be eating right, because your mental clarity is going to be so much better. You're not going to have that brain fog and feel all tired all the time. And working out, like, focus on your joint work, like make sure your posture's right. Just small little things will bring you right back to those young ages. You can't afford not to do that for yourself. Okay? Look at the long run. In 10, 15 years, don't look back and say, dang it, like I should have done this more. Don't wait for the problem to come up for you to want to change it. Always think proactively of this. I'm very guilty of this. But it's a switch you got to flip. It's hard to flip that switch. It's extremely hard. I know, like, you guys are busy. We're all, I still got to go work out. Oh, I got to, pack my lunch today, or I got to, track my macros. Dang it, man, it is so important to do, and you will be so happy you did it. It's just having that feeling, tired all day, and having that feeling of being able to move around and get up and down, stairs, or up and down off the floor because you're playing with your kids, or going out and playing in a volleyball tournament, even though you're older. Like, it just makes you feel better. It makes you a little bit happier. It just releases some of those endorphins that are wanting to get out. And the saying, if you don't lose it, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. Kind of similar thing here. Okay, don't lose it, and take the necessary steps. Just kind of watch where you're stepping. Right? I know it's a lot easier said than done. But it's something that I see a lot. I just can't do it anymore. Oh, I'm too old to do that. Like, are you? Like, yeah, don't, be realistic with yourself, but at the same time, know that you can get back and you can feel a lot better and you can do a lot more things than you think you can. Anyway, that's my rant. Don't use age as an excuse. Okay. I know we all want to go back to our glory days. I would love to go back to my glory days, but I'm going to make sure I'm as close to that, and I'm going to stay in that sort of range as long as I possibly can. And I'm going to look out for myself. Honestly, in a selfish way, I'm looking out for myself for the future, so I can help, my family. I can go do things that I want to do, and I'm not going to let my physical health or my nutritional health be a factor in me not being able to do something, and my kids not being able to do something, or whatever it may be. So there you go. Take that how you want. But again, as always, if you have questions, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook. Whatever it may be. But I'm going to end it there. Go sign up for the volleyball tournament. Let's do this, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff. You're getting merch no matter what. There's going to be prizes. It's going to be a really, really good time. roughneckspodcast.com. Sign up for it. You can't miss it. I will see you guys next time.
Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. If you liked today's episode, then please be sure to share it with a friend. You can follow the Roughnecks Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Roughnecks Podcast. Head over to roughneckspodcast.com and grab yourself some Roughnecks merch. Until next time, make sure you grab the bull by the horns and take control of your life. Roughnecks, out.